And then when you pay with the keep on everyone at it. When they tune into the station, 103.5 FM, like another everyone at it. I never let entertainment and culture like nobody does. Black one and no one need to tell your God. I'm the one of sports, and you tell the scoreboard. Tell all your business, and you go tell the whole world. Everyone at the 103.5 FM. People know that everyone at the good reference. Who love it, and I'm one more with entertainment. I thank you, if you don't let them, I never got participant. You may go to the religion and melody. It's all good telling me to lose everyone at it. You like to go and the Putin and color. Also, 103.5 FM, where born at it. If you go test that out, Bundon at it. And then when you pay with the keep on everyone at it. When they tune into the station, 103.5 FM, like another born at it. If you go test that out, Bundon at it. And then when you pay with the keep on everyone at it. When they tune into the station, 103.5 FM, like another born at it. Everyone at it, 103.5 FM, Ogiri. We blend entertainment and culture. Alright.
Ebona the FM, 24 hours of informative, educative, and entertainment programs. Can't stop, won't stop. On Ebona the 103.5 FM.
Tighten your seatbelt as we take you on this smooth ride.
Let's go!
It's the morning drive on 103.5 Ebona the FM, keeping your morning engaging as we take you through the smoothest ride on radio.
From 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
Getting your morning inspired, be informed, let's interact only on the morning drive.
Make it a date with Martin Efanishuku, aka Meta.
And Christy F.E. Emenari, aka Classy.
From Monday to Friday, from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
On the morning drive.
103.5 Ebona the FM.
Good morning and welcome to Ebona, the 103.5 FM today, the 12th day of October 2023. The time is a minute past the hour of 7 and it's time for newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM this Thursday morning. This morning we are going to take you through the news, making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and write to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that the complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that the complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
Welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Ebona Day 103.5 FM. This morning, we're going to take you through the news making the headlines on The Guardian newspaper, Leadership, Vanguard, Daily Post, Punch, Sun, This Day, The Nation, and if time permits, we're also going to take a look at the Nigerian Tribune. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-9666-1035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we are live at Ebonade 103.5 FM. Drop your comments on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. CSU certificate, Obi backs Atiku, asks Tinubu to disclose real identity. Investing in girl child is for Nigeria school, says Tinubu. Lagos Blue Line goes electric, increases daily trips to 54. Imo Guber, state government assures candidates electorate of level playing field. No Boronu community under control of terrorists, says Zulum. Guber poll, Lobo Breeze move to reconcile Wike Diri unsettles Bayelsa APC. Federal government to halt spread of diphtheria disease with vaccine, says Pate. Imo Guber, political parties, stakeholders worry over 134,000 uncollected PBCs. Human Rights Writers Association condemns approval of Mba's 170 billion naira loan request. EFCC recovers 41.78 billion naira from power projects, ex-AGF's ally. Others. Action Aid urges governments to prioritize safety of girls. Court to determine status of FBN Holdings 11th AGM. Again, Navy uncovers illegally tapped NMPCL well held in rivers. How African countries can enhance mental health services. Politicians corner 70% recruitment into tertiary institutions, says Tertiary Education Trust Fund. Politicians corner 70% recruitment into tertiary institutions, says Tertiary Education Trust Fund. Obasanjo asks African leaders to solve continent's problem. We lost 3 billion to electricity theft monthly. Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company cries out. We lose 3 billion naira to electricity theft monthly. Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company cries out. How military eliminated over 117 bandits in devastating airstrikes in Northwest. Umbu Gadu dispels a rumor of monarch's dethronement. Governor indicts officials for traffic offenses as Oyo seeks fewer road blocks. Experts decry screen addiction, offers tips for wellness. Religious leaders review 2023 elections, urge unity, tolerance. Enugu government, coal mining firm reach 1 billion naira settlement. Crude oil refinery owners decry multiple taxation, dollarization, shortage. Afe Balalola raises salary of ABUAD staff by 35%. Tinubu appoints new heads for NCC, NIPOS, NIGCOMSAT. Women engineers push for investment in girl child. Mayeng, SGAI wants equal education opportunities for girls. Again, DBN ranks high in transparency among ministries, departments, agencies. Impeachment of Ayedatiwa stalls as CJ refuses to constitute panel, while we sailed 12 petrol retail outlets in Akwa Ibom by NMDPRA. While we sailed 12 petrol retail outlets, Oshun loses council chairman. Don't be left behind. Embrace Army's operational administrative transformation agenda. Chief of Army Staff tells troops. Coalition in Bauchi demands justice for Kanu Guba mandate. Foundation partners Akwa Ibom on school girls' menstrual health. Minister, Turkey, harps on intelligence sharing. Kogi Guba poll. Okun leaders resolve to work for APC. Shout victory path for Udodo. Broadcast journalist advocates safety on Nigerian roads. Articles 8 slams BBC fact-check report on Tinubu's certificate controversy. Articles 8 slams BBC's fact-check report on Tinubu's certificate controversy. Nigeria saw a live vast minerals resources for economic growth, says Alake. Federal government to employ youths as firefighters to curb unemployment. Tinubu appoints new leadership across communications, innovation, digital economy sectors. Tinubu does not have identity problem. APC tell Peter Obi. Ndi Igbo group backs Tinubu warns Atiku Obi against obstructing democracy. Nigeria's soil contains vast mineral resources for economic growth, says Alake. No contractor will hold the federal government to ransom again, says Umaye. IDGC 2023 Genius Hub calls for more girl participation in digital space. Constitution amendment. Reps unhappy over low-level participation of women in governance, says Kalo. NEMA. Stakeholders meet to address flood preparedness in Ikiti. Federal government to establish international anti-graft court to recover stolen funds abroad, says AGF. Ndi Igbo group backs Tinubu, urges Atiku Obi not to obstruct with taking this. UK, European Union urged to impose visa ban on Nasarawa Governor Sule Tanko. World Bank commits to empowering women, youths in Nigeria, others. Federal government urges MBC to engage stakeholders in checking brokers' code violation. Para PDP's contradictory financial claims draw criticisms from state government. Peter Obi tells Tinubu to disclose age, reintroduce himself to Nigerians. Speaker launches book to unveil how former wheelbarrow pusher Etu became NASC director. Federal government directs hospitals to save gunshots, accident victims before requesting police reports. 5.4 million voters registered for Kogi Imo Bayelsa elections, says INEC. Police arrest nephew, others over journalist murder in Zamfara. Femme Foundation urges investment in girls' rights. General Labaja flags off multiple military exercises in Lagos. Denied justice. EIE Nigeria partners with National Human Rights Commission, Yaga Africa, and SBM Intelligence to launch report on #NSAS judicial panels. Coalition. Others urge African leaders to shelve water privatization. Petrol station shut down as scarcity. Long queues hit Abuja. Federal government's bid for concrete roads to spike CapEx amid 10 trillion naira owed contractors. Tinubu orders industrialization of health sector to boost production. Israel, Palestinian envoys defend positions as NCPC suspends Christian pilgrim. Israel, Palestinian envoys defend positions as NCPC suspends Christian pilgrimage. And that's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. And from the Guardian newspaper this morning, we flip over to Leadership newspaper. Governor Bala Mohammed inaugurates Abuja Bauchi Value Jet daily flight. Sanwo-Olu to tackle bottlenecks for Lagos economic development. Sanwo-Olu writes Assembly 6 reordering of 2023 budget. Sanwo-Olu writes Assembly 6 reordering of 2023 budget. Rotary clubs, Uni Abuja hospitals seek inclusive mental health policies. Makinde wants police to reduce checkpoints in Oyo. Oyebanji declares zero tolerance for indolence in Ekiti Public. Police arrest kidnapper, recover UK residence permit, 8 ATM cars, others. Federal government still paying for subsidy. Eichmann chairman insists. NEMA, Ebonyi government distributes relief materials to 2022 flood victims. Obasanjo advocates use of homegrown solutions to solving Africa's challenges. Flour mills drives federal government's food self-sufficiency initiative. Africa's total export to hit $1 trillion by 2035, Standard Chartered. Refinery owners seek federal government fund to boost local petrol refining capacity. Eco Disco promises prompt, efficient service delivers quality materials. Federal government considering fresh subsidy for Gencos as gas price hikes by 30%. 20% of fiscal budget spent on subsidy payments in 1 year. Federal government warns state governments against interference in mining activities. Illegal miners ultimatum extended. Again, DBN emerges highest ranked public institution. NLNG of Seplat Exxon Mobile Asset Deal. NUPRC raises hope of successful completion of Seplat Exxon Mobile Asset Deal. Forest scarcity. Analysts say improved internal relations will boost capital inflow. Minister, NFF hold strategic meeting on state of football. Here's Insurance Experience Center to drive financial inclusion. AFCON 2023 Super Eagles no. Branham appoint Rooney as new manager. Israel Palestinian conflict. I'm safe, says Super Eagles star. MPA battleshippers cancel as 2023 Maritime Cup kicks off. Indonesia seeks to co-host 2034 World Cup with Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, while we sacked of FCTA agencies had to go. Stakeholders brainstorm on fostering education technology in Africa. International Girl Child Day, UNICEF calls for increased investment in girls' rights. Reps panel screens NDDC board management today. Facts of indebtedness. Sir Johnson Arumeni Ikede, ARIC to Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. CSU certificate. Igbo group tackles Obi over attack on Tinubu. Seconds tax partners NGX to drive investment into Nigeria. PDP governors canvass equal rights for justice orderly, urges new lawyers to fight injustice orders. Federal government, Imo government urged to fix Aba Mbise Okpala Road. Launch special operation in Niger. Senate tells service chiefs. Shanghai Masters. Stones top seed Akaras. Stop overheating polity over Tinubu certificate saga. The Third Republic, 30 years on. France, Australia kicks as Nigerians on death row hit 3,000. School feeding. Benue government disengages cooks employed by autumn. Quality education for girl child. Best investment. Madaki. That's the much we can take from the leadership newspaper this morning. And from the leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to Vanguard newspaper. Rivers woman bats husband with hot oil. Inflation. Protect poor people from high energy prices. IMF tells federal government. Family cartels on our bench. Nigeria's current tax system hindering investments, business growth, stakeholders. You don't have right to ban mining activities, Alake tells governors. Israel-Hamas war. Christian Association of Nigeria warns against religious conflict as Adeboye backs Israel. Flood red alert. Benue government moves to avert disaster. Obi, APC at war over Tinubu. 100 of us raided, kidnapped FGC Yauri students, bandit. Former governors, ex-ministers, others under investigation, EFCC. Chetima Ganduje storm Imo, flag off APC governorship election campaign. Reps member representing Sokoto, Jelani Dambuga is dead. Tinubu's certificate saga has worsened Nigeria's reputation. Peter Obi. Bayelsa Guber. Silva begins campaign rails out plans. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Egypt warned Israel days before Hamas attack. U.S. lawmaker. Organ disappearance. Police arrest 3 siblings for mobbing 68-year-old woman. That's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. From the Vanguard newspaper, we'll flip over to the Daily Post newspaper. Every Hamas member is a dead man. Israel vows to wipe Palestinian group. Tell truth about Nigeria. Information Minister Idris to broadcast houses. Aminu Maida. Things to know about new NCCEVC. Impeachment. Chief Judge declines Ondo Assembly directive to set up panel against Ayedatiwa. Tinubu certificate saga. Broken voice note of Atiku. APC Lambas Obi. Tinubu, you can never be Nigeria's president. Pathetic desperado. Omokri knocks Peter Obi. Yobe government launches diphtheria vaccination exercise. Targets children in 8 local governments. Senate yet to receive official briefing on Empower suspension committee. Israel-Hamas war. Pastor Adeboye backs Israel. Women group decries impact of gas plays on Akwa Ibom communities. I will focus on digitization of NTA. Others, Information Minister. Abia. Police launch complaints response unit. And that's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. And from the Daily Post newspaper, we'll flip over to the Punch newspaper. Military destroys 3 million litre illegal refinery, hunts owners. Federal government to feed 400,000 Benue pupils, trains 6,512 cooks. NECO laments 5.5 billion naira state debts with 6,512 cooks. NECO laments 5.5 billion naira state debts with whole exam results. Account for 17 billion naira bond. Others, Kwara PDP challenges Abu Razak. House of Reps lose. Chetima, Ganduje lead 16 APC governors to open Imo campaign. IPPIS, federal government to suspend unregistered workers' salaries. Air Force launches new aircraft, awaits attack helicopters. We narrowly escaped attack in Israel. Lagos pilgrims. Police seek partnership with Turkey on intelligence gathering. Minister, leadership not for males only. Non-governmental organization tells schoolgirls. Leadership not for males only. Non-governmental organization tells schoolgirls. ABUAD workers get 35% pay raise. 5 officers summoned as Lagos policemen clash with motorists. Ondo CJ declines a request to raise panel for Ayedatiwa's impeachment. Diphtheria kills 600 in 19 states. MPHCDA recommends fixed mask. Enugu coal mining firm to pay 1 billion naira state. Red Cross cancels 100,000 repentant Boko Haram fighters. Red Cross cancels 100,000 repentant Boko Haram fighters. Sparklight pledges prompt housing delivery to subscribers. Africa must look inwards for solutions. Obasanjo. Certificate forgery. Atiku Obi protests as BBC fact-checkers clear Tinubu. EFCC recovers 27 billion naira, $19 million, probes ex-governors, ex-ministers. Ohaneze hails Igboho release. Asks Tinubu to free Kanu. Lagos demolishes structures obstructing drainages. Naira-dollar exchange rate falls to 1,000 40 naira in parallel market. Domestic abuse. Delta creates a rehabilitation home for girl child. Girl Child Day. Pharmacists advocate end to rape in Nasarawa. Uphold rule of law. Justice Odele charges new lawyers. LASMA impounds 200 unregistered, unpainted vehicles. Safety agency gets patrol bikes. Government stakeholders have responsibility for girl child education. Reps Speaker. Total Energies urges students on reading culture. Nigerian Air Force airstrikes kill over 100 bandits in Zamfara. Nigerian Air Force airstrikes kill over 100 bandits in Zamfara. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Punch newspaper this morning. Tinubu mourns federal lawmaker Dambuga. Navy destroys 3 million liters capacity illegal refinery in Rivers. Army undergoing operation. Administrative transformation. Chief of Army Staff. Foundation partners Akwa Ibom on menstrual health. Police arrest 54 suspected kidnappers, robbers, recover firearms. British Airways suspends Israel flights over safety fears. Federal government plans to commercialize 12 rivers basins dams. Federal government plans to commercialize 12 river basins dams. Southeast remains pivotal to Nigeria's growth. Protesting Niger Delta group demands NMPCL bus immediate removal. Girl who asks parents iPhone 8 for birthday apologizes to Nigerians. Tinubu appoints new CEOs for NCC, NIPOS, 3 others. OT orders payment of Abia ministries, departments, agencies accumulated electricity bills. Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps, police collaborate to tackle insecurity in FCT. Concrete roads, stop certificates not forged. BBC report. Titanic submersible debris. Human remains recovered. Diphtheria outbreak claims CDA. Diphtheria outbreak claims 20 as Kaduna records 156 cases. MPHCDA. Tinubu sacks NCC, NIPOS, NIGCOM SAT buses, names replacements. Reps suspend sitting, mourn late colleague, Dan Buga. NECO declines to name states owing 5.5 billion naira SSCE fees. 98% of children, pregnant wife who allegedly killed stepdaughter pleads for leniency. Nigerian Air Force receives 2 additional aircraft. Niger military rulers order United Nations official out 72 hours, 3-day morning. 65% candidates successful at law school final exams, DG. Hamatan, Kaduna Fire Service cautions residents on fire incidents. At least 169 Israel soldiers killed in war with Hamas. PDP, para-government trade wars on projects, governance. Tinubu's certificate saga. I am distressed as a Nigerian, says Obi, and that's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. And still on the story, in the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning, from the Daily Post newspaper will flip over, from the Punch newspaper flip over to the Sun newspaper. International Girl Child Day. We are aware of challenges girls face. Minister. Tinubu condoles with House of Reps, Sokoto state government over Dambuga's death. NECO, Abia had highest number of candidates with 5 credits and above. Clark writes Tinubu, says break jinx of neglect. Federal roads in South dangerous. I almost suffered heart attack over fake news on Gowon's death. Clark Cross River. University of Calabar undergraduate sets world record of 188 hours, record of 188 hours, longest duration in write-a-thon. Bayelsa court disqualify APC candidate Timipre Silva. Cross Rivers, National Association of Sea Dogs take campaign against domestic violence to markets at homes. Girls' rights must be at the center of our work. UNICEF urges federal government. Tinubu hails Benebishi at 100. Tinubu condones with taking this. Tinubu backs Umahi over war against contractors. Para PDP, APC, Bika over finance, good governance. Election Tribunal, group expresses disappointment with governorship election judgment. APC will rule Benue for years. Airlines, condition, subsidy removal. Federal government will soon release 6-month report of revenues. RMAFC share. United Nigeria Airlines becomes IATA member. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Sun newspaper this morning. Napoli happy to sell Osimhen to Arsenal. You are listening to newspaper headlines on Ebon at 103.5 FM. We'll now go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making headlines. Please stay with us.
Aha! Oge we all got bottle. Tabernacle of Praise Adoration Ministry dị n'Ogidi na-achịkọba ihe ome ga-ejupụta naanị n'ike ga-adị n'ụbọchị Wednesday anọ dị n'ime ọnwa Ọktoba, 4 Wednesdays in the month of October, bụ nke isiokwu ya bụ Chimamanda, My God Cannot Fail. Ọ ga-adị n'abalị anọ, abalị 11, abalị 18 nakwa abalị 25 nke ọnwa Ọktoba afọ a. Ọ ga na-abụ ekpere abalị ụbọchị ndị a niile. Ọ ga na-amalite n'elekere 10 nke abalị wee ruo na chi ofufo. Ebe ọ ga-adị bụ n'ogige ụlọ ekpere Tabernacle of Praise Adoration Ministry dị n'Ogidi Anukwu. Onye ga-anọ n'isi ihe omume a bụ Apostle Dr. John Oka JP. Maka ajụjụ kpọọ 0703 38 81221 0703 38 81221. Kedu ihe ndị ahụ na-eme gị ụra ga n'anya? Ahịa gị ọ na-agba ọnụpa? Ndị iro ọ na-achụgharị gị? Bịa ka ịhụ ike nke Chineke n'ebe ọ pụrụ iche. Ọnwa Ọktoba ga-adịrịrị anyị na mma. Jizọs bụ eze.
Stand up for your right.
Know your right. Basically, as a citizen of Nigeria, you've got it all. Freedom of movement, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. Onye karịrị gị ananara gị ihe ị nwere n'ike maka na onweghị ihe ị ga-eme. Ana gị, moto gị, ana-emegbu gị n'ụdị dị iche iche. Are you oppressed or intimidated in any way and means? By the personal group, ndị law enforcement agency ma ndị ọrụ nchekwa ndị ọzọ niile a na-emegbu gị maka na onweghị ihe ị ga-eme. Nwanne amawa gị aka anala gị oke ruru gị, gwa gị na onweghị ihe ị ga-eme maka na ịbụ onye riri akpọ gị mugu. Mmadụ asị gị na onweghị ihe ị ga-eme na ọ ga-akpọchi gị for 2 weeks or 1 week maka na ọ karịrị 0.5 FM.
Every Wednesday from 5 p.m. and Saturday 9 a.m.
All anyị ka anyị kpere gị alụ.
Kwa Wednesday ọbụla 5 p.m. and Saturday 9 a.m.
We do not address these challenges on Ebona FM. Who will, as the happenings around us get as complicated as be. Government says street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community, street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifan, but the force every Friday, 4:30 p.m. FM as street reports unfolds in your face.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become 080-9666-1035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebona. Drop your comments on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. As Liberians await polls results, Lagos government to increase blue line trips to 54 from Monday. Sokoto Rep Dambuga dies at 60. Kalo decry increasing sexual violence against children, out of school children. We will continue to nurture, support, empower girl child, says Tinubu. How Ilobu Ifon land disputes claimed lives, left communities in ruins. How to enjoy overall wellness. Abuja's traumatic one-chance problem. Kogi accord candidates to partner with federal government on Ajokuta Steel. United Nations abandons us under Bia's genocidal war, says Ambazonia leader. How women change political landscape in Nigeria by INEC official. Parties blame INEC for voter apathy, low PVC collection in Imo. Tinubu rates Igbo high. Imo should vote Uzodinma, says Tinubu needs not reintroduce himself, says APC. Nigeria leads demand for Africa's debt relief from IMF. Federal government orders road contractors back to sites. Procurement fraud. EFCC recovers 27 billion naira, $19 million. Neva to promote solid minerals in London. Manufacturing Association of Nigeria to government. Adopt policies to boost local production. BBC, no evidence of certificate forgery by president. That's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. From the Nation newspaper, we'll flip over to this day newspaper. Bayasa, INEC assures of Obi wants Tinubu. BBC says no evidence of forgery. Article per gas well. Operators push for review of fiscal policies in sector. At IMF, World Bank meetings, Jimo Ibrahim canvasses new measure to resolve Africa's debt crisis. And lack of moral, ethical standards. Enugu to establish 300,000 corp kicks off October 24th. MPA takes on NSC as 2023 Maritime Corp kicks off October 24th. NITDA holds Cybersecurity Awareness Summit. Finland Digital Innovation Journey. And that's the much we can take from this day newspaper this morning. Nigerian Security, Civil Defense Corps, police collaborate to combat crime in FCT. Enugu Festival, God's blessings for national rebirth in NS, Gani Adams. Ondo Assembly Chief Whip promises to prioritize constituency's interest. EFCC arraigns man for allegedly defrauding Emir tax federal government to invest funds saved from subsidy removal. International Girl Child Day, menstruation not taboo. Non-governmental organization urges school girls. Climate change. Nigerian youth advocates to host side effects at 30P COP28 in Dubai. At COP28 in Dubai. Use law profession to fight injustice. Justice Odele urges new lawyers. Lagos to increase blue line trips from 12 to 54 from Monday. European Union releases 1.1 billion. Use your wealth to serve. Uplift less privilege. Rotary Club tax Nigerians. Wike appoints Benedict Daudu. SSA Lego. Multilateral Corporation. That's the much all that we have for you on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Ebonade 103.5 FM. We'll now flip over to our WhatsApp portal to bring your reactions this morning. And we got one from famous Christian. He's joining us all the way from Ifite Village, Aguluzibo. Thank you so much for joining us. Now we got a message from Paulie Muizu from Monisha. And he says, P2B said the truth. You know, join us, Paulie Muizu. And then we got a message from Comrade Ibudu from Out Oil. Should face the full law, please, this morning. Now we got a message from Valentine and then from Mumbo. And he says, Ohanes and Igbo is a mirage. They are psychopaths hustling for their pockets, not for Igbos in general. So let them stop speaking on behalf of us. Yoruba groups have manned by the spirit of cowardice. We should know that Tinubu is just like a caretaker in the seat because he does not have any decision of his own. He is duty bound to dance to the tunes of those who planted him in office. Ufondo continued and he says Tinubu should release Kano because Sunday Tinubu wants to show the Igbo race he has an unconditional hatred against Igbo extraction. If he fails to release him, there is no other way a person can see the action of the president than that of the insecurities in the southeast. Do not move the president, and he is happy about. And then he continued and says, hence, he knows that the illegal detention of Nnamdi Kanu to do the needful. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Christian Ufondo from Onitsha. We got a message from Ebuka Nwabu from Amawa Obunike, and he says everything about this government is just lie and fraud. Our country is now a laughing stock worldwide. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Ebuka Nwabu from Amawa Obunike. We got a message from getting cash crops for exports. The much we can take from our WhatsApp portal. We're now flip. And from our SMS portal this morning, we got a message that says the war of Tinubu and Atiku is only God that can interfere. Faith, sanctity from Oka Road. Okay, thank you so much. Onyeka Okabo from Ogidi Anuku, and he says, let's see. Okay, it says Predator Helios. Okay, this is coming from Boniface Mmashi Akasi. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we got a message from Alaket Adams Obinna, and it says Siege by Fulani Blood Suckers. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, my brother. Then we got a message. This one is coming from Onyeka Osakwe, Honorable Onyeka Osakwe, and it says illegal mining and bunkering has become a cancer worm that has no remedy. That Igbo group that is berating people accolades. How can they tell me that a bandit can repent in the name of Boko Haram? This nation is on the verge of anarchy, as our rulers are not prudent in the essence of stability and governance. The government in power did not have any tangible manifesto. Rather, they dabble into whatever they seem good to them, which is not needed in a black race like Nigeria. Israel should endeavor to convert Gaza. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we got a message that says, I urge the present administration to know that no amount of billion naira palliative being given to each of the 36 states in the country will stop the present hardship and poor economic situation. Secondly, the ongoing war, Israel and Palestine, will cause the world war. This is coming from Wingate Ikechukwu Nwakeze from Okozo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we got a message that says, good morning, and this one is coming, he says, it's coming from Iweka Ifeanyi from Ikengo Gidi, and he says Tinubu should reintroduce himself to Nigerians in order to portray Nigeria good to the world, because President saved our peace. This Iweka Ifeanyi from Ikenga. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we got a message from Boss, and he says the boss from Okozo, and he says the woman that beat her stepdaughter to death must face the full wrath of the law. And he says again, when the federal government want to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, we are not happy anymore. Release Kanu now. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, the boss. We got a message from Honorable Osakwe, and he says, okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We got a message that says they are king's men because of job porridge. This is coming from Ndubisi Okafor from Umweze, Umunachi. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll now flip back to our WhatsApp portal to bring you more reactions. From our WhatsApp portal this morning, we got a message from Obiora from Okozo, and it says, 4 pump price high and 4 stations differences, lies to Nigerians, election violence. So nothing good will come out of this administration, because if foundation is faulty, what can the right? This morning, we also got a message. This one says, Nigeria should learn from the Western world, how to protect girl child from child abuses. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We also got a message, and also after everything, you people should let us know the end of the certificate saga. This is coming from Akidiamoke Onye Nabana Umunashi. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We got a message from Honorable Obasi, aka Authority is More Than Power, and he says attacking Obi over saying the truth against Tinubu's certificate according to American law court proceedings is unfair. And don't forget that Obi is one of the prominent Igbo man. So therefore, any Igbo group, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we got a message from this one says good morning, and he says it's coming from Amechi Anene from Uru Ogidi. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let's see if we can get you more reactions this morning. See if we can get you more reactions this morning. From our Facebook portal this morning, we got a message from Dr. Mrs. Mma Olebara from Owerri, and she says, on Girl Child Day, education is a fundamental human right, and every child is entitled to it. Let's send our girl child to school and not infant marriages. They need education to come up marriage. She is that doesn't have a choice. Blasting people who say where certain rights are being exercised. May God help us. Also, Francis Namani from Amakunse. Thank you so much for joining us. This to the masses and now the supporters of evil doings in Nigeria. And he says, aim of our democracy, peace, and tranquility to the south is defending the indefensible. He says the CSU certificate saga involving President Tinubu is a national embarrassment. So I support P2B that he should clear the air. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. We got a message from East Lee. We got a message from Achuke Rosemary. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And this is the spot where we begin to call FM. Remember that it comes your way weekdays in the morning once it's 7 o'clock. So keep it.
Praise Adoration Ministry dị n'Ogidi Anukwu. Onye ga-anọ n'isi ihe omume a bụ Apostle Dr. John Oka JP maka ajụjụ.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right.
Know your rights. Mara Ikigari Nwere. Basically, as a citizen of Nigeria, you've got it all. Freedom of movement, freedom of religion, freedom of